Boop, 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 boop. Yes, hello. Good morning. It is I, your host, Poco Kiddo, with yet another informative, enlightening, heartening episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Yeah. Wow. What happened? Oh, wait. That one. Hey, good morning. Hi, yes, good morning. Good morning. I have indeed made it. Like, I don't know sometimes, right? No, like, nothing has changed and everything has changed. um, so look, I've got nothing, right? I'm wearing like terrible stuff because while I was like messing around, out here in the desert, the game crashed on me. And when I came back from a crashed game, I found I was dead. And that all my stuff had disappeared. It had all been eaten up, I think, by the by the cacti, the cactuses. So yeah. So I'm big bummed. Like, I was really bummed out. So I just didn't do anything. I stopped playing for a while, right? Because I'm not done making my my trading hall. I'm not done making my trading hall yet. So it's really hard for me to recover from losing all my stuff. Like, it's hard to recover. It takes a lot of time. So I just need to figure out how to make. And the other part is I'm like just frustrated with Bedrock because it's just, I remember doing all of this in Java on a little tiny island with like 6 chunks. I did the iron farm. I didn't do the gold farm, but I did the iron farm, the mob farm, the village breeder, the trading hall, the farm, everything within like 6 chunks. It was like great. And in this, I have to spread everything far apart because the villagers grab things from a large radius. So I have to keep things so far apart so the villagers don't just randomly grab things. So that necessarily introduces all this extra space. Space means time, unless you have a way of overcoming it. Like, you can destroy space through time if you have the tools, but I don't have those tools anymore. So space is big for me now. I like to get anywhere, I have to walk, and that's awful. I don't even have any food. I need to go, like, do I have wood? Yeah, no, like, you see what I mean? I got nothing. I got mad and I quit playing. So I have wood. Do I have food? I can cook food. I could cook food if I really want to, but I just want to go back to base. Oh, I need sticks. See? Do I have any sticks here? No. Is there a... No. All right, make some sticks. Make a shovel for a paddle. Now I can make a boat. And let's go back to, like, the main base. So yeah, this is a setback. But it will make me appreciate the things I have. Yeah, this is a big setback. Like, anything I wanted to do now must be put on a back burner and deprioritized until I get everything else done. So it's a major setback. It's like not fun. Which is why I stopped playing. But hey, I didn't come here to whine about losing all my stuff. No, I have bigger things to talk about. I wrote down a bunch of stuff and I never remembered to like talk about it. And since I don't have anything to show off in Minecraft, I figure why not talk about the stuff I have that I wrote down and forgot to talk about. Ta-da! Dope. In the light. Come on, you can do it. Come on, dude. Got it. Okay. Let me see what I got here. When people talk about real, they mean authentic. What the F is authentic? So yeah, what does it mean to be real? If real is something you can touch, taste, see, or smell, then real is nothing more than electrical impulses in the brain. And we can trick those, we can stimulate those, right? We can use wires and electrodes to pass a current through a living brain and create stimuli. Just because your brain registers a certain smell doesn't mean it's actually there. Your brain can register it like zap your brain, oh, I smell bacon. But there's no bacon to be found. Right? But if that's real to you, if that's what it means to be real, it's just electrical impulses in the brain. No. But I contend real is something different. Real is something more. Because I like I said before, I say that relationships are real. Relationships are not electrical impulses in the brain. I mean, maybe they are, but not in the same way. Like I can't put an electrode into your brain and pass a current through your brain and make you smell relationship. Nope, doesn't work that way. But relationships are real. Right? They're real. They're deadly, or they're incredibly uplifting, and they're strengthening and important and nurturing. Relationships can be lots of things. Like I never even thought about what are all the things that relationships could be. It's so many, I can't even think about it. But they're real. You can't put an electrical impulse through your brain, but it's real. All right. So then we that's how come I want to start talking about mediation. Because like there's seeing something, right? I'm observing something directly, right? Directly observing this. But then I could look at a picture of the cup. It's a picture of the cup, right? But there's a layer of mediation. Do you see what I mean? There's something that comes between me and the cup, and that is the picture. Well, actually, the cup is not even there. The cup is somewhere else in space and time, in different coordinates. So all I have is this picture of a cup. So I don't even have the cup. I just have a mediation. Maybe I'm looking at a video of the cup in real time in another location. But now I'm not looking at the cup. I'm looking at a picture, like a video of the cup. So that's a layer of mediation. That's something that comes between me and the thing. Anything that comes between me and the thing is mediation. It removes you. It separates you. It separates. That's what mediation is. It's separation. It comes between. To puts between. So when we talk about real, like in the sense of relationships, what I think we're talking about there is layers of mediation. How many layers of mediation stand between you and me, our relationship? Because the closer you are to someone, the less layers of mediation stand between you and them. So it's important to be able to see what it is that mediates that comes between you and anything else. Like even now, in this instance, like I'm talking to you, mediated by the video. If you're not streaming here in real time with me, it's also mediated by space and time. I mean by time, not space, but by time. Because it's already mediated by space because you're not physically here with me. So what happens with all these layers of mediation is that every time there's a layer of mediation, there's a chance for information to become distorted. Like that mediation doesn't just come between you, it does something to the information that passes through it. So it's not the same information that comes out of the thing. Like there's the thing coming at me, there's a layer of mediation, and that layer of mediation alters the information so that the picture I get of the thing is not the true picture of the thing. It's mediated. It's been altered, filtered. It's been filtered. And it's by necessity, right? Humans aren't able to absorb the full capacity of information available to them. We can't do it. We would be like children. We would be like children, just like babbling at everything because it's so amazing. Like literally, everything's so amazing, and the only reason why we can't see it is because if we did, we wouldn't be able to survive. We'd be like awestruck all the time by divinity. We wouldn't be able to handle it. So nature puts these layers of mediation in order to help us to survive. Like if we're just like gobstruck all the time by creation, we're not going to notice the saber-toothed tiger like eating us. So you got to be aware of like where you are. So that's like the anchor, right? You're anchored here. Like sure, you're here in space and time now because you have an anchor. Your anchor is your body. The thing that anchors you, keeps you here. That's important to keep your anchor like in good condition, because if it's bad, if your anchor is in a bad condition, it can no longer anchor you here to the here and now, and you'll go somewhere else and be something else. Because your consciousness is shaped by the vessel it's in. So your consciousness is human because it's in a human. If it were in something else, it'd be a different kind of consciousness. It wouldn't be a human consciousness. Look at that. I jump off a little thing and I lose half a heart because these boots have no feather falling. Gravity, man. Oh no. My feet is bad. It's always bad though. Like I can't handle. But you know what? It turns out okay in the end. I don't get it. As long as it doesn't like drop. So anyways, I'm talking about these layers of mediation. And what these, and another way of saying layers of mediation are layers of abstraction. Because you can't touch the actual thing, so you have to abstract away. Yeah, I mean, and that abstraction necessarily means like a removal. You have to not look at the thing, but instead look at a mental construct of the thing that you're making. And that's not such a bad thing because humans are good at reifying mental constructs. Like they can forget that it's just a mental construct and believe that the thing that they're talking about is an actual real thing. Like gender, right? Like boys can't wear dresses. Why not? There's no actual thing stopping them. There's no real reason to stop them. There's nothing there. But the person who says boys can't wear dresses, they've reified the concept of gender and think it's an actual bar that you have to do something to get under. They don't understand that it's not even there. Okay, so that takes me to my next point. Relationships are real. Things that you can't physically touch or see are real. Ideas then become, even though they're not real, ideas can become expressed into reality, or they can become reified. Whereas people, so there's one, yeah, right. There's reification where you think that the idea is real, that is a real thing. And so since you think it's an actual object, then you think it has properties that can't be changed because you think it's an object. So it's immutable. But that's not, that's a delusion. That's wrong. The other way that ideas can be made into reality is through expression, human expression, right? So gender is not a real thing. I can't touch, taste, feel gender, but I can express it. So I express it by wearing clothes, by my mannerisms, by my voice, by my tone, by my eye contact, by my hair. 1,000 million different little things. 1,000 million different little things that are used to express gender. What was I talking about? Just because I express gender in my way doesn't mean I've exhausted the possibility of gender. There are other ways of expressing gender too. Gender is just the jewel with unlimited facets, and you can shine a light through it, and it'll shine brilliance, but that's not the only way you can do it. You can shine a light into a different facet, and you'll have an entirely different array of colors coming out. So, but again, gender isn't actually a real thing. It's not really there. It's just an idea. But the expressions themselves are real. And that's how and people get the expression confused with the actual thing. People get the idea of dress confused with gender. No, dress is not gender. Dress is a reflection of gender, and it's an expression of gender. And there are a million billion different ways of expressing gender. And none of them are wrong or right, because there's no wrong or rightness of gender. It just is. So that brings me to my next point. The system that we live in now uses everything against you. Everything against you. It is an adversarial justice system, which means it's out to get you. So it even says in our laws, in our Miranda rights, anything you say can and will be used against you. That's why defense lawyers always recommend you say nothing to the police, because anything you say to the police is going to be turned against you. It doesn't matter. Anything you say to the police will be turned against you, because the police don't care about justice. They care about getting a job done. They care about fulfilling their quotas. They don't care if they have the right guy or the wrong guy. They just need a body in that spot so they can check off their box and make their bosses happy. They don't care. They will get anybody they can. Cops don't care about justice. They don't care. So that's why it's very important. Since I know that anything, and that's just not with cops, right? I noticed out in society, it's the same way. Any words I use are going to be thrown back in my face at any time, every time, every time. Every time I use a word, it's thrown back at me, every time. That's why it's important that I only talk about the truth. I don't lie. I don't spread misinformation. I don't spread disinformation. I mean, if I spread misinformation, I need to be corrected, so I don't spread misinformation. But I don't spread disinformation, which is the purposeful dissemination of bad information. Because I know anything I say will be used against me. All right. So the next important thing to remember is that anything that can be destroyed by the truth should be destroyed by the truth. Let me say that again. Anything that can be destroyed by the truth should be destroyed by the truth. If you have an organization and your organization is based on a lie, and if that lie were to be exposed and it would destroy your organization should be destroyed. It doesn't matter about anything else. That's the truth. That's it. If your organization depends on a lie, it ought to be destroyed. It should be destroyed. It's a moral imperative that it be destroyed. That works on me too, right? If anything I do or say is based on falsehood, it should be destroyed. If I am based on falsehood, I should be destroyed. Right. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's why it's important that I only use the truth. Because if I don't use the truth, it's going to come back to destroy me. Because it should. That's what it means to live under principles. Okay. So I want to get out of this one. Save here. I'm going to go back over here real quick. Is it this one? Yeah. All right. So here, let's talk about what happened on Tuesday. So this setup here is wrong. This setup is incorrect because this is the setup from last time. Let me redo it. What happened on Tuesday is that the cult of the white idol came back to Salem to do the same thing they did last time, which is to harass poor women and defy the teachings of Jesus and to make Jesus feel bad. You know how a parent tells their kids, hey kid, hey my children, I know you're only 5 years old, but listen to me. I'm your parent. I tell you for your own good. Don't jump on the bed. Don't jump on the bed. Don't jump on the bed. It's very clear. Don't jump on the bed. And then the children, they come out, and what do? They jump on the bed, right? They jump on the bed. And as they jump on the bed, they're screaming, Daddy, 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 we love you, Daddy. We're jumping on the bed. We love you, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. Look at us jump on the bed, Daddy. Do you think the parent is going to look at that child disobeying the clear instruction of the parent? And then what happens? The child falls off the bed and hurts themselves. Daddy, Daddy, and then they fall off the bed and they start crying, Daddy, I got hurt, Daddy. What do you think the parent is going to do? Do you think the parent is going to be do you think the parent is gonna look at the child and be like, oh, well, since the child was screaming my name as they disobeyed me, it's okay. It's okay now. You know, I'll ignore that the child hurt themselves because they were disobeying me. I'll ignore the fact that the child was disobeying me. Because the child was yelling my name as they were disobeying me, oh yeah, I'll forgive them. I'll forgive them now. No. It does not work like that. The parent is still going to be upset that the child disobeyed them. The child is still going to be hurt because they disobeyed the parent. No, not out here. Not out here. The parent is, it's not going to magically be better because well, here, no, it wasn't quite like that. Those are purple. There are purple shirts. I need purple. No, the parent's still going to be mad because you're disobeying the parent. Ah, shit. No. So, just as the parent, okay, so just as these, it's the same thing with these guys. Here, let me finish this. Oh, it's good enough. You know what? Yeah, that's fine. Wait, I'm wearing it. Yeah, here. Ignore all that. Ignore all that. This time we're over here. No. So, oh man, I'm playing more Minecraft than I thought I was going to do. Where are the dyes at? There we go, dyes. I need green. Green dye. I think that's clear water. Okay. So that's me. Here I am. Let me get more coffee. This time, the Proud Boys were the whole group had been chastised. Instead of taking over the street like they did this time, instead of taking over the whole street and the whole Planned Parenthood and this whole sidewalk and this whole area, instead of taking over all that, they were kept in this area. They stayed in this area, and they stayed on the sidewalk. Right? Okay. That's all legal, right? That's all like fair game. That's all fine. That's all fine. It's their right to be able to do this. It's their legal right. It wasn't so nice when they were taking over the street, but this is fine, right? Okay. They're still doing the same bad thing. They're still jumping on the bed because Jesus instructs his followers in Matthew 6, don't pray in public. Don't pray in public. Don't pray in public. He tells them over and over and over again, because when you start something incorrectly, with bad intentions, incorrectly, not even bad intentions, even if you start with the best intentions, but you start incorrectly, the whole thing is going to end bad because you started incorrectly. It doesn't matter how good your intentions are. If you start incorrectly, it's going to be bad every time. So this cult believes it follows Jesus, but what it's actually following is a white idol called white supremacy, because they're not actually following Jesus. Jesus tells them don't pray in public, and they do the opposite of what Jesus tells them. So they're sitting here doing the opposite of what Jesus tells them. What does that create? That means they associate with Proud Boys. These people here are Nazis. They're white supremacists who are violent. They're all older dudes, right? They're not young. They're not kids. They're not in their like teens and early 20s. Dude, a lot of these guys were in their 30s and 40s. These guys are grown-ass men. They should know better. And they're here with like weapons and armor, with serious like weapons to hurt people. And they're seriously here to hurt people. They're huge. These guys are big-ass men, and they're here facing off against a bunch of kids who are essentially a bunch of kids. And there's me with my bullhorn telling them to follow Matthew 6, follow Jesus, come back to Jesus. So that's what's happening, right? And it goes on like that. And then these purple guys are like an interfaith group. They're trying to stop the Antifa kids from fighting with these grown-ass Proud Boy men. And they were pretty successful for the most part until the very end. At the very end, now everyone was leaving, right? Everyone was leaving. So these Proud Boys were over here, and they got to use the trailer as cover. They got to stand behind the trailer. Even though Antifa had more people, they all got bunched up right here, and they were on the low ground. So they were bunched up, and they were stuck with the trailer, and they're on the low ground. Proud Boys had the high ground. These guys started like scuffling a little bit, like pushing each other, right? And then someone in Antifa used pepper spray. It was just one person. It was a little bit of pepper spray toward this guy here. When the Antifa person did this, all these grown-ass men with bear mace, with full-on bear mace, with paintball guns loaded with plastic bullets, they all unloaded on these group of kids who all ran away. They all ran away. All these kids ran away from the Proud Boys shooting them because one kid over here used mace. I, who was not in the group, I was not in this group, right? I'm not in these people. I'm not the same color. I'm not doing anything with these people. I'm not with the interfaith group. I'm not with the Antifa. I'm not with the Proud Boys. I'm not with the cult of the white idol. I'm over here. I'm my own deal. And I was not in this scrimmage here. I was not involved in this. But the Proud Boy shot me with a paintball gun anyways. I don't know if you can see it from here. You can kind of see the bruise. You can kind of see the bruise. It's been since Tuesday, right? Tuesday is when it happened. Now it's Sunday. It's almost a week later. It's still there. I got for nothing. I was just standing there and they shot me. So that's 2 times I went to listen to the cult of the white idol. And the gospel they taught me was violence. Twice. That was the gospel that they taught me, that this group taught me. They follow the white idol of white supremacy. And the gospel they teach me is violence. I have never, ever committed any violence. Never violence. I never said anything bad about them. I am like, we're supposed to be on the same team, right? We're supposed to be on Team Jesus, but these guys are not following Jesus. So I'm here trying to get them to listen to the teacher again. They're not listening to the teacher. And I'm trying to get them, hey guys, stop doing your own thing, listen to the teacher. But because these people are doing their own thing, they cause all this violence, all these problems. That's what happens when you start your project on incorrectly, when you don't listen to the teacher. When you don't listen to the teacher, bad results happen. It doesn't matter what your intention is. Bad results will happen. And that's what we see every time. The thing you taught me, the thing this group taught me was violence. The thing they taught me is that they cannot look at Matthew 6. They cannot look at it. Every time they look at it, they say Jesus doesn't really mean what he's saying there, is what they tell me. They point to other places, but every time they point to other places, it doesn't change Matthew 6. And they won't talk to me anymore. So that means I have to keep, because they keep showing up, I have to keep showing up to tell them that they're doing it wrong because they're hurting my town. They're out of town. They're not from us. They're not from here. They're from out of town. The leader, Greg Locke and Ken Peters, they're not from here. They're from out of town. But they come to my town to create problems and then take money from this group. They take money from this group to defy the teachings of Jesus and cause problems and cause violence. But there's one good thing that they do, and that is they expose how the Salem Police Department is on the side of the Proud Boys. Remember, this group is out of town. They come in here to cause problems. They associate with Nazis who come heavily armed. The Nazis unloaded completely disproportionate to the force used against them. It was disproportionate. They came armed, heavily armed, picking a fight. They wanted to fight. They came heavily armed, and they're older, and they wanted to fight. And there was a bunch of kids who were dumb because they're kids, and they were easily goaded into a fight. And they got the fight. So what did the Salem Police Department do? They come marching in from over here, and they face off against these people. Against the Antifa. They leave the heavily armed people alone because they're heavily armed, and they go after the lightly armed, the non-armed kids. Because Salem Police Department are implicitly fascist. They're implicitly on the team of the white supremacists. Implicitly. So let me show you some stuff here. What do I got? That's LA. So this is video from Alyssa Azar. On 8/11, Salem police issued a statement claiming the person who they arrested protesting at Planned Parenthood in Salem shoved an officer. Wow, that's pretty serious. Why would anyone want to shove an officer? Okay, I can understand it, right? If you shove an officer, that's some serious business. An officer shoved a 79-year-old guy, and he fell to the ground and cracked his head open, and he bled all over the place and had to go to the hospital. And nothing happened to that officer. So I would expect nothing to happen to this person who shoved the police officer. Because it's nothing, right? The police officer shoved a 79-year-old guy, cracked his head open in New York, and nothing happened to the police officer. So I would expect nothing to happen to this person who shoved the police officer. Because, right, it's the same deal. Oh no, that's incorrect. I forget. This isn't really a free country. No, I forget. Police are special. They're special. They get to shove people and break the law, but you can't shove them back. So if this guy, the Salem Police Department said this guy shoved them, so they get to hurt him because he shoved them first, right? Okay. So let's watch the video. All right, let's see the video. Salem Police Department, right? Salem Police Department puts their honor and their word. Salem Police Department says, we love you, community. We would never lie to you. Salem Police Department says, we would never lie to you. Here's our word that we would never lie to you, Salem Police Department. This guy shoved us. What do you want us to do? He's violent. Look at him. Watch him. Here, let's watch the video of him being violent. Okay, stop. I got to zoom this in so you all can see it. It's zoomed in partially, but I want to zoom in totally. So here's the police line. Over here, Here's over here is where the Proud Boys fired their unlimited volleys of weapons toward us, of chemical weapons and paintballs. I was right here when I got shot. So I was in the group. I was over here. So they shot indiscriminately into the crowd. Now the Salem police now are coming to support the Proud Boys. They're clearing the street of the enemies of the Proud Boys. Okay, and then
area to the west towards Coral Avenue.
Okay, stop. You see it right here. You see it right there. There's the lone protester, right? We're gonna watch him to see him shove an officer. We're going to watch that guy. We got to see him. Uh-oh. We're going to watch him to see him shove an officer.
Look.
So I don't see it yet. Now he's walking away from the officers.
Salem Police Department. Been declared
Now-
unlawful assembly pursuant to order.
Wait. I didn't see the shove. Wait. I didn't see it. I saw him walking away. Let me see. I didn't see it yet. Let me see it. If we slow it down, go frame by frame, maybe we can see the shove, right? Okay. Wait, I don't see. Hold on. All right. So we're gonna go frame by frame. There's the protester. He's walking backwards. He is walking backwards. The protester. Now he's turning around. Now he's walking fully away from them. His back is turned to the police. Okay, his back is turned to the police. His back is turned to the police. Okay, now, wait, hold on. His back is turned to the police. Oh, back here.
Salem Police Department.
Stop. His back is turned. His back is turned. He's talking over his shoulder. Now look behind the tree. Look right here. See this tree? Watch this right here. That right there is a police officer running at full speed. So he must have shoved a police officer that we didn't see. According to the Salem police officer, somewhere around here, he shoved a police officer. But let's watch, right? You see that? Here comes the police officer running at full speed. There. Oh.
Been declared.
There comes the police officer running at full speed. Let me back up a little bit. Okay. So I don't see no shove. He's walking away from them. He's walking away. No shove. Now, okay. Now, from this tree here, you see that black smudge? That's the beginning of a police officer charging. So we have never seen this guy. I'm in the way. Here, let me get me out of the way.
Been declared.
Here. Damn it, here. No shove, police officer charging.
Declared an unlawful assembly pursuant to
Okay, let's watch the whole thing.
To the west, towards Coral Avenue.
What the fuck?
This is the Salem Police Department. Been declared an
Damn it, you can't see. I'm in the way every time. All right, I don't see any shove. I don't see a shove. He's never near them. He's never near them.
Been declared an unlawful assembly pursuant to order to revise statute.
Here, let's mute that. Shut up. Stupid. He never touches them. Look at that. He never touches them. Nope. Okay, I see what happens. He's walking away from them, and the police run up and grab him. They drag him backwards. So he's walking away, and they grab his arm and they pull him back. So let's see that again. So when police officers say that he shoved them, that means the police officer grabs you. Holy shit! I shoved the police officer because the police officer grabbed me. Okay, I'll go back to that. Hold on. Wow, that kind of kills me. I don't understand now because my whole brain is cracking. Like, what are the rules then? I have rules that are different from you. Like, the law doesn't apply to you. I don't understand. You're saying truth doesn't apply. At no point does this guy ever touch anyone. At no point. They're going to ruin his life for nothing. Salem Police Department lied. They put their honor on the line. They said, yeah, this is the truth. And they fucking lied. How could I trust the Salem Police Department? They're obviously in cahoots with the Proud Boys. Obviously in cahoots. Remember when they put my name in the paper for being arrested when it was the Proud Boy? The Salem police are obviously on the team of Proud Boys. I think the feds need to take a look at the Salem Police Department. I think they're pretty corrupt. Wow, look at that. They helped the Proud Boys so much. They help the Proud Boys so much. At no point does this guy touch them. At no point. Look at him walk. Look at him walk. At no point. At no point. They just, oh, damn it. I can't drag it anymore. I cannot control my own thing. There it goes. Let me shrink it down. It's too big. Okay, watch. At no point. Ah, damn it. It's. How do I do this? Do I have to move it around myself? Yeah. Okay. Okay. At no point. He never touches them. He never touches the police officer. They just run up and grab him. You see that? At no point does he touch a police officer. They just run up and grab him. So the police are lying. You got to watch out. Police lie. The Salem Police Department lies. Well, they're helping the Proud Boys is what they're doing. They're intimidating anyone who's not with the Proud Boys. They just intimidate anyone not with the Proud Boys. The police intimidate anyone not with the Proud Boys. They're de facto Christian identitarian dominionists. Look at he doesn't never touches them. Never touches them. He never touches them. He never touches them. They just arrest him for contempt of cop. That's what it is. They arrested him for contempt of cop. It was contempt of cop. Never touches him. Never touches him. They just grab him. So there are two things that I want. I don't know, two things. There are a couple things I want you guys to get out of this. Number one, I played a lot of World of Warcraft. I played a lot of World of Warcraft. And what I learned, okay, for number one, I'm telling you, this group is bad. This group is bad because they're not following the teachings of Jesus. So because they're not following the teachings of Jesus, everything that comes out of what they're doing is going to be corrupted. Look what they associate with. They associate with a bunch of Nazis. Right? Look what they're doing. They're not following the teachings of Jesus. Look what they're doing. They're going to a poor. These are apartment complexes. This is a poor neighborhood. These guys are going to a low-income neighborhood to harass the poorest women getting health care. They're not attacking rich women. They're not going to hospitals where they actually do abortions. No, they're going to a low-income neighborhood to attack the poorest women. So obviously, I'm against these people. I'm against these people. These people are wrong. But I played a lot of World of Warcraft, and I played a lot of random or rated Battlegrounds. So I understand like group dynamics. I studied sociology. I understand group dynamics. So in this instant, you have to understand people are playing roles, right? Everyone plays their role. You studied Herbert Mead, like the looking glass self and the self that you present. I forget what that's called. But there's two sides to it. There's the self that you present to others, and the self that you see reflected from others. So the role you play is the self that you're presenting to others. The role that the Proud Boys are playing here is the role of tank. They're here to be physically aggressive and tough. That's what they're here for, to cause violence. They're tanks. They want to fight physically. That's their whole deal. This group fancies itself to be like the Antifa of Portland. But I'm going to tell you now, Salem Antifa is not like Portland Antifa. You are not comparable. You are not comparable. You cannot try to be like Portland Antifa. Portland Antifa is different. They work under different circumstances in a different space with different history. They are different. Don't try to be like Portland Antifa. Don't try to be something you're not. It's not going to work. And on Tuesday, Salem Antifa tried to be something they're not. These are a bunch of pretty much skinny kids. I shouldn't say skinny kids, but they're little kids. They're kids. They're children. These are children facing off against burly ass men who have criminal records and who have no problem breaking laws to hurt people. Why you guys? And so when Salem Antifa came to this, what do? They targeted the tanks. That's the thing the tanks want you to do. They want you to target them because they come to be intimidating so that you target them and not these guys. And not the guy with the video camera filming this. You guys targeted the wrong people because you thought you were Portland Antifa when you're not. You have to understand your strength, and you have to understand your strengths and your weaknesses. Your weakness is physical violence. Your weakness is physical violence. You cannot do physical violence. You will lose if you do physical violence. You will lose if you do physical violence. What is your strength? You guys are incredibly creative. You guys think in a way totally different from these people. You guys are magic. You guys are magic. Why don't you see it? Why don't you like grab onto it and hold onto it with both hands? This is not you. Fighting is not you. You do not fight like this. Physical violence? Come on. Physical violence has been used against you your whole life. You know better. You know better. That's why you think different. That's why you are who you are. Because you know. You have felt it. You know. You know. Why are you reinforcing what they've done to you? That's colonization. They've colonized your brain to make you do exactly what you wanted them to do. Now you're under control. Now you do what they told you. Now you're under control, and now you do what they told you. Come hit me, Antifa. Okay. No, dudes. No. You guys are magic. You guys think and operate on a completely different level. Completely different level. Completely different level. This body, this physicalness is your anchor, but it doesn't mean you got to stay here. Think different. Think different. Think different. Why are these Proud Boys here? Because these guys are here. Why are these guys here? Because they make a video and show off to everyone how holy they are. So, if your goal is to make the Proud Boys go away, you don't make them go away by physically attacking them, because that just makes them stay more. That's what they want. Instead, you target these guys. But you can't do it with violence. Remember, you can't do it with violence. You guys are super creative. You guys think in ways that these other people can't even imagine. They're in their little tiny box, and you think in 4,000 different dimensions around it. Show them your power. Show them your intelligence. Show them your creativity. Show them how the futility of their violence. It's so easy. It's so easy. You guys are brilliant. You can do it. It's so easy. And you don't have to sink to violence, because when you sink to violence, you go to the level, down to their level. Remember, how you start a project is very important, because it doesn't matter your intentions, it's how you start. Chaos theory will tell you the same thing. Slight variations in initial conditions lead to widely unpredictable outcomes further down the line. That's chaos theory. So it's important how you do this. It's important how you start. It's important how you start. It's important you guys know who you are. I don't want to see you get hurt. As I was leaving, because I got hit with the paintball, I got a little bit of pepper spray, and I left. And as I was leaving, I saw an older woman, a boomer, and she started talking to me. And and we're leaving, we're walking away from the hubbub. And she's telling me that when she was 18, she got an abortion. And I said, okay, well, that was your choice. It was good that you were able to have your own choice and make your own choice. And then she said to me, she's like, no. Planned Parenthood, they tricked me into having an abortion. What? They don't do that. What are you talking about? I'm over there, I'm like, and then we're walking. And this boomer says, I don't see color. I'm colorblind. I don't want to look at any color to me at all. And then I'm looking at her. I'm like, no, lady, you have to see color. Here in the United States, race is ingrained in everything around us. Race is everywhere. And then this lady is walking with me, and she's like, you're so nice. Why are you standing with the Nazis? She asked me, why are you standing with the Nazis if you're so nice? And I go, I'm not standing with the Nazis. I'm with Jesus. I'm just talking about Jesus. That's all I'm talking about. All I'm talking about is Matthew 6. That's the only thing I'm talking about. Because remember, look where I was standing. So this lady that I was talking to is with the cult of the white idol. She had an abortion when she was 18, and now she wants to stop other women from having that choice, from having a choice. She got to have a choice, but she doesn't want other women to have a choice. What does Matthew 6 say? Jesus says, don't pray in public. Don't be like the hypocrites who pray in public. This lady who had an abortion at the age of 18 is here to stop other women from having what she had. When you start a project incorrectly, everything that comes out of it is bad. So this lady says, why are you standing with the Nazis? And I didn't understand. I didn't know. And then this young man came out in a truck. And he looked at me and said, I'm sorry for yelling at you. I'm sorry. Because he was, again, over here with the white idol. And he came and he yelled at me because I was yelling at the pastor for having privilege. The pastor, Greg Locke and Ken Peters, they're white people. And they come to a Latino neighborhood to harass poor people. And I said, that privilege you're using is terrible. And this Latino guy came out of the flock and yelled at me to protect the white guys. A Latino guy came out of the flock to yell at me to protect the white privilege of these white guys. Okay. But later on, I'm talking to this old lady, and he's in the truck, and he's like, oh, no, come here, old lady. Come here, old lady. Get away from that scary man. Me. And he looks to me and says, I'm sorry for yelling at you. I'm sorry. Please don't hurt anyone. And I'm like, I'm not going to. What are you talking about, dude? I'm dressed in green. I'm talking about Jesus. What are you talking about? I think people are very, very, very confused. I think these people here are very, very, very confused. But they're being less misled by bad people, by Ken Peters and by Greg Locke. They're being less misled by bad people. And these bad people are taking their money. They come to our town from out of town and take the money of our residents and then take it away to do the opposite of what Jesus says. and then they associate with Nazis to spread the gospel of the white idol. And what is the gospel of the white idol? Violence. So that's the local news, right? That's local. But what about in what's this? The Nazis invaded Portland. And what happened was this guy was taking a picture. Oh, and this guy was pointing his gun at him. And in the background are police who do nothing about this guy walking around threatening people with weapons. He was allowed by police to walk around and threaten people with weapons because the police are implicitly on the side of the white supremacists. Here's another bit of that photo, right? This guy with his finger on the trigger is pointing a gun at a guy taking a picture of him. And he was allowed by police to walk around Portland, downtown Portland like that. That shows you that the police are implicitly on the side of the white supremacists. In Los Angeles, the police are implicitly on the side of the white supremacists. This journalist was attacked by the Nazis. So there's a Nazi rally. There was a Nazi rally. It's a plague rally. The Nazis and the plague are teaming up, right? They both want to create mass death. The anti-vax people and the anti-mask people want mass death. Nazis want mass death. So they staged a rally in downtown Los Angeles. And the police, remember, are implicitly on the side of the Nazis. So the police implicitly protect Nazis. So let's watch as the police protect the Nazis. Now, this plague rally had a counter rally on the other side of the street. You know, on the other side of the street, they're standing on the plaza for the LA Police Department was a counter rally that was against the Nazi rally across the street. But you're going to watch the Nazis cross the street to attack the anti-Nazi rally who are standing on the police property. They're going to cross the street. The Nazis are going to cross the street and attack the anti-Nazis who are standing on the plaza of the police property. Then the anti-Nazis are going to stab the Nazis. I'm sorry, the Nazis are going to stab anti-Nazis, and then the police are going to rush in to protect the Nazis from the anti-Nazis. They're going to, you got the anti-Nazis stabbed the Nazis. The Nazi stabbed the Antifa. The Nazi stabbed the Antifa, and then the police rush in to protect the Nazi and to be against the people who got stabbed, who are standing on the police department property. So this is the context, right? Now let's watch the video of this happening. Oh, wait. Which one is it? That's the stabbing. I need the first part. The first part. So watch here. Ooh. So watch here as all the Nazis cross the street and get ready to fight. Now the counter protesters are on the other side of the street, and they're on the police department property. So here's all the Nazis getting ready to fight. Right? Now that guy, he just ran up to a journalist who was just filming it, right? And he's got a shirt that says "Fuck Antifa." He ran up to a journalist and punched the journalist because he's Nazi, right? He's a Nazi, so he punches journalists. Here, let's go back. I want you to hear the sound. So these Nazis are all crossing the street. These Nazis are all crossing the street.
Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Fuck Antifa! Hey, bitch.
Hey, bitch. So this guy is an anti-masker, anti-vax Nazi, and he's attacking the press right now. You see that? He cursed her, called her a slur, and then he hit her because he's anti-press. He's a Nazi. Watch these Nazis, dude. They're Nazis. They're Nazis. They crossed the street. They crossed the street to attack the counter-protesters. Watch them. They crossed the street to attack the counter-protesters.
Hey, yo, stop it!
Unmask them! Unmask them!
Fuck you!
Unmasked.
them!
Look, he's carrying mace. They're carrying mace.
Unmask
And he's carrying a skateboard to hit people, a club.
Unmask
That guy's stabbing him. Watch this guy stab.
Unmask them all!
These guys are all Nazis, dude. Remember, they're on police property. They're on police property right now. They crossed the street to attack people on police property. That's a medic trying to get the guy out. That's a medic trying to get a guy out.
Unmask them! Unmask them all! Unmask them!
These guys are Nazis, right? Look at these Nazis.
Unmask them all!
These guys are Nazis.
Unmask them all!
They're all on police property,
Bring
right?
his ass! Bring his ass! Come on!
Come on, they're on police property. The Nazis crossed the street. Now police are going to come to protect the Nazis. Hurry, police! Protect the Nazis, police! See, they're backing up. The people are getting pushed back on police property more.
They're in my face.
Now here come the police. The police are going to face against the threat and protect the Nazis. The police face the threat and protect the Nazis. You see? Face the threat, protect the Nazis. So that gives you a nice clue. At the very end, you saw the police face against the threat and put their back to those who they want to protect. Who are the people they want to protect? The Nazis who crossed the street to attack the counter-protesters. So that lets you know police are on the side of the Nazis. Nazis will kill police in a heartbeat. The Nazis only care about police as long as the police help the Nazis. As soon as the police stand up for the rule of law, Nazis will hate the police again. It's not that the Nazis love police, it's that the Nazis love that the police do what the Nazis want them to do. And the police do what the Nazis want because the police are pretty much Nazis themselves. Okay. So now that we got that, we're going to look at a closer look at the Nazis. All right. So you see this Nazi right here, has a knife. You see him holding a knife? That's a knife in his hand. And then there you see the Nazi stabbing the person in the ribs with his knife. So you have the knife, and then now he's stabbing a person in the ribs with the knife right here. So where's the video of that? I'm going to play this at the slowest I can. So okay. Where's the guy? Okay. This guy right here is the guy with the knife. You see right there? That's him about to stab. He's got the knife in his hand. He's going to stab. Stab. Now he's going to stab again. Stab. He's going to stab again. All right? Watch him stab. No, he's got the knife in his hand, and he's going to stab him in the head, in the back. Stab. He's going to stab him again. Stab. Back up a little bit. I want to see him. You see the thing he's holding in his hand? It's sharp. It's a little blade. It's not a big blade, but it's enough to break your ribs, right? That's the point. The point is not to make you bleed. The point is to break your ribs, to break the bones. It concentrates the force on a little area to break the bones. Stab. Stab in the head to break the bones. He's trying to break his skull. He's trying to break his skull open. And then later on, the police will come in to protect the guy who was stabbing. The police is like, oh no, guy, stabber. Let me protect you against these dangerous guy, bleeding guy. The police are on the side of the Nazis. Remember that. Remember that. Police are on the side of the Nazis. So that happened in Los Angeles. Police are obviously on the side of the Nazis. Clearly. We're going to need federal intervention to we basically need to disband the entire police department because they're not serving the interests of the people anymore. They're like a sidearm of the Nazis who are invading the country. Yeah, that's what the white idol. That's the gospel of the white idol. So when I go to listen to what they're preaching, this is what they're preaching. They preach violence. So that group, the church at Planned Parenthood, their gospel is violence. 2 times I went to their ceremony, and 2 times I heard their gospel, and their gospel is violence. Every time the gospel is violence. So I know what they worship. They worship white supremacy. This is the goal. The goal is nothing less than a new society in which proletarian values such as community, solidarity, and mutual aid will replace bourgeois values such as individualism, competition, and profit making. That is our goal. We need to get away from the capitalist idea and move toward a more sustainable way of thinking. Because the way we're going now is not the way it needs to be. What is all this stuff? Oh yeah. It is truly wild to watch the anti-mask backlash escalate and realize conservative white men are totally unfamiliar with the concept of having their bodies policed by institutions. You mean someone's just going to tell me what to wear and how to act in public? And if I don't, they'll tell me the bad thing that happened to me is my fault? How is this legal? Bless your heart. This happens to women all the time. And now you're asking white conservative men to wear a mask and they flip the F out. They can't do it. It's important to note the extent to which the Afghan army was a grift, meant to channel money towards contractors and U.S. suppliers. The local commanders often accepted this and set themselves to profit from it. Because the Taliban gave pocket money to some of these troops who had gone unpaid for months. Everyone wants to blame Biden for the complete collapse of the Afghanistan army. But you have to understand that the point of Afghanistan was never to make a free society. It was always a way to channel public money into private hands. It was always that. It was always to do that. War is a racket. War is a racket. It is always meant to make money for a small group of people. Violence is like the worst thing ever. We shouldn't, but that's the number one thing that we sell as Americans. That's our number one export is arms. We export arms, but it's a racket. Wrong road. Everything that happened in Afghanistan is the same shit we saw in Iraq when Daesh took Mosul, an army that only existed on paper to filter money up to a handful of corrupt leaders. disappearing in the face of an opponent they should have been able to destroy. It boggles the mind that every single person involved in the post 9/11 fiasco has not gone into seclusion, made it a public apology, committed seppuku, something, anything. There's more accountability for a McDonald's franchisee than in the foreign policy and national security establishment. Nobody suffered, no one paid any consequences for the failure of Iraq and Afghanistan. The Bush administration that lied to get us into that war just kept on trucking. They want to make George W. Bush into like a nice guy again. Like, how insane is that? George W. Bush okayed torture in the United States under his watch. Okayed torture. Like, that's ridiculous. I can't believe that's like how much opposite can you get from American values? And yet here George W. Bush made it official U.S. policy. I was called crazy because in Reno, everyone hated me in Reno because I was so anti-war. Everyone hated me in Reno. Because, I was in Reno from 2001 to 2004. And, yeah, everyone hated me. Oh. But remember that what we're doing now is a continuation of the policy of Donald Trump. Donald Trump negotiated an agreement with the Taliban to withdraw all forces by May 2021. So Joe Biden is only going through with what Donald Trump already negotiated. And he tweeted in October 2020, "We should have the small remaining number of our brave men and women serving in Afghanistan home by Christmas." Donald Trump ignored the professionals and negotiated an exit agreement with the Taliban. In other words, the author of the book, The Art of the Deal, thought the Taliban would honor a contract. Is the party responsible for an illegal and ill-advised war which negotiated the exit agreement with the Taliban really blaming the other political party that inherited this mess? It was a Republican who started the war, and it was a Republican that agreed to end the war, that surrendered to the Taliban. Why are you talking about Biden? I don't understand. It was Donald Trump that negotiated their withdrawal. All your anger should be at Trump, and I know it is. I know all your anger is at Trump. Because Donald Trump was the one who killed Ashley Babbitt. So we got to think, how are we going to make Donald Trump pay for killing Ashley Babbitt? That's the question we got to think about. That's the thing we got to think about. What is evil about these systems of intolerance and persecution is not the foot soldiers who carry out the crimes, but the organization that mobilizes and unleashes these dark passions. He worried that such a movement was, late in his life, again on the march. It was more sophisticated than in the past, more cleverly packaged, and this time without serious opposition. The hatreds were again being stoked. Sounds like Tolkien from Mordor. Mordor. Those arrayed against American democracy are waiting for a moment to strike, a national crisis that will allow them to shred the Constitution in the name of national security and strength. And those in the movement often speak about such a moment with gleeful anticipation. Donald Trump was fully prepared to create a crisis in order to declare martial law when Black Lives Matter was marching in the streets. Donald Trump was fully ordering his attorney general to make unfounded accusations in order to create a crisis so he could declare martial law. He has been trying over and over and over again to overthrow the government. I mean, he's still trying. The Republicans in Congress are still on board trying to enact the will of Donald Trump. They're still trying to overthrow the government. They're still traitors trying to overthrow the government. Oh, that's my own thing. Voters want to pass the American Jobs Plan and American Families Plan together using reconciliation. So if you look at all the Americans, 56% support, a majority support passing this plan, and a small group oppose it. When we break this down, so of all the voters, a little majority support it. Let's break this down. Democrats, a fat majority wants to pass it, 80%. And you look at Republicans, a fat majority opposes it. So these guys do not want to spend $3.5 trillion on improving infrastructure in the United States, but they are okay spending $10 trillion as a stimulus to the richest billionaires in America. So do you see the values here? We have the different values, the different Americans. One group of Americans wants to help all Americans, and the other group of Americans wants to overthrow the country and install dictators. Do you see the values here, where we're going? Republicans want to overthrow the country and install dictators and give power to the ultra wealthy. They're literally traitors to the United States. They have betrayed American values. They're literally traitors to my country. Deadly heat waves, floods, storms, wildfires, droughts, crop failures. This is not the new normal. We are at the very beginning of climate and ecological emergency and extreme weather. Events will only become more and more frequent. We have to face climate emergency. It's not going to get better. Welcome to the coolest summer for the rest of your life. There will never be another summer as cool as this one. You know, oh gosh, isn't it so cool? Man, this is so nice. This is so nice. We're going to look back at our kids and be like, remember the summer of 2021 when the temperature only reached 121? Man, what a nice time that was. What a cool time it was back then when it was only 121 degrees. So nice. So it's important to remember that the COVID crisis in the United States is being driven by unvaccinated Americans. The people who chose not to get vaccinated are 90, 99, 98, 99, 96% the people in the hospitals of now. And the people not vaccinated are like at most 4%, at most. 96% of the people in hospitals are unvaccinated people. So it's important to know that the unvaccinated people are really, really sick, and they're going to make the American health system collapse. The unvaccinated are fighting. They're like, oh, we're going to stop you, doctors. We will not get vaxxed. We will spread the disease, and we will make America fall. We will cause the collapse of the American health. Ah, ha, ha. Anti-vaxxers. Ah, ha, ha, ha. So what does that look like over time? Let's look at that over time. So remember, anti-vaccination, opposition to vaccination is correlated with support for Donald Trump. The more you support Donald Trump, the less likely you are to get vaccinated. So on the bottom here, this is of the counties, all the counties in the United States, all the counties. And this is the percent of of votes of that county that voted for Trump. The more they vote for Trump, the more they're going to be over here. And then here's like the 50-50. It could go either way, right? Okay, and over here, the less votes that Trump got, the more you'll be on this side. And then on this axis here is the percent of the population that has been fully vaccinated. They got both shots right here. So the more shots you have, the higher you up you are. The more you support Trump, the more far out to the right you are. So what does this look like over time? So this is February, March. It's the same. April. Now we're starting to see a difference. May, June, July. So July. So you see that, right? The blue counties get fully vaccinated, but the Trump supporters are not vaccinated. You see? They get about here and then they stop. Now they're stopping. They're not really going up anymore. So the more you vote for Trump, so you see that one, right? You see this one. And then you see this one. So Trump supporters are flooding the hospitals, trying to make the hospitals collapse, because Trump supporters know if they can make the hospitals collapse, they can make society collapse, and it's easier for the Nazis to take power. That's why that's why the anti-vaxxers are doing this, because they're in cahoots with the Nazis. They're trying to make the government collapse. I got all these random things. Trump Republicans are actively working to sabotage efforts to end the pandemic. Right? Never forget that they would destroy America to hurt the Biden presidency. The leaders are willing to kill their own people in order to hurt Biden. Republican leaders are willing to kill Republican voters in order to hurt Biden. That's evil. That's so evil. That's so evil. Man, wow. John Wilkes Booth thought he was a patriot. He was not. Lee Harvard Oswald thought he was a patriot. He was not. 3%ers, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, KKK think they are patriots. They are not. Everyone who stormed the Capitol thinks they are patriots. They are not. They are all domestic terrorists. You guys are Nazis. Remember what happens to Nazis? I remember. If MAGA thinks like this, are they seditionist traitors like the Confederates? Always have been. Yes, yes. If you support Trump, you are a traitor. You support the overthrow of the United States government. You can't get around it. This is a poll, July 14th to the 17th. If you're a Trump voter, you think that the Capitol insurrection was defending the freedom of white people, and that it is patriotic to do white supremacy. So Trump supporters are white supremacists. They are fully on board. The majority of Trump supporters want to overthrow the government, the United States government. That means they're Confederates. They're traitors. The majority of Trump supporters are traitors. How does the majority of Trump supporters become traitors? What does that do to them? What's going on with them when they think like this? I don't get it. I don't understand. What would cause an American to deny truth and attack his own country? And then be unable to defend himself with a vaccine, and instead hurt his fellow American by stopping the vaccine. What possible kind of brainwashing could do this to a person? And I can't find it. Yuri, where's that Yuri at? Yuri Brimanov. Yo.
Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand.
There's nothing to do with espionage. Only about 15% of time, money, and...
Wait, before you do that, I want to bring up the other contribution I have, which is the actual test.
Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand.
There's nothing to do with espionage. Only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. You cannot change their mind.
So, when you have anti-vax people, here, let me, so when you have anti-vax people, and when you have people who are pro-insurrection, what that means is that they have been demoralized. Yeah, keep Yuri on top. Where are you, Yuri? Oh man, Media Player Classic. There we go. Okay. Okay. So, what that means, psychosocial, it's psychological, dude. Psychological warfare. Okay. Ideological warfare are active measures to change the perception of reality of every American so that despite the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions. No one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interest of defending themselves, their families, their communities, and their country. You can have a vaccine against the virus, and you can know that masks will protect against spreading the virus, but because you've altered the perception of reality of so many Americans, they are unable to come to a sensible conclusion to defend themselves. Exactly what Yuri said to do, right? Exactly. So let's keep going.
Even if you expose them to authentic information.
Yeah, you cannot change their minds, even if you expose them to authentic information. It doesn't matter.
Even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society. The next.
Okay. 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 So what did he says? You cannot change their mind. Even if you expose them, you cannot change their mind. Even if you expose them to authentic information, unmediated information. Authentic means unmediated. Even if you give to them the direct experience, it doesn't change their mind. Direct experience will not change them. Nothing will change their mind. A Trump supporter is brainwashed. Nothing will change their mind after they've been brainwashed. Why? How does that happen? Because they have given up on the idea of truth. If you don't believe in truth, then anything is just as possible as anything else. If you don't believe in truth, then maybe the Chinese bioengineered a virus to kill the entire planet. Maybe aliens did it too. I don't know. Like, anything's possible. The only thing that matters is what makes you feel good. So you need to hold on to the idea that there is such a thing as truth, because if you lose that, then you can be easily manipulated. If you give up and say, oh, everyone's the same, both sides are the same, it doesn't matter, we can never really know, well, then you're lost. You're lost.
Stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation, what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems.
Okay, so we know Donald Trump already, he had 4 years to destabilize us. He had 4 years to destabilize us, which he did, right? He wrecked all our stuff inside. He hollowed out the federal government. He wrecked all our alliances. He got buddy with all the dictators, gave away all our secrets, and made as much money as he could for himself. So we already had the change of perception in reality on the Americans. Those are the Trump supporters. Then you had the because they're demoralized. Trump supporters are demoralized. They don't believe in truth. They don't believe they don't believe in truth. They don't believe in God anymore, because God is truth. So if they don't believe in truth, they don't believe in God anymore. So they'll believe in whoever has the most power, right? And that's like, and Donald Trump will say, I have the most power. So they'll listen to Donald Trump. That's what happens when you give up on God. So then Donald Trump had 4 years to destabilize the United States. Where he wrecked our economy, our foreign relations, and our defense systems. He had 4 years to do that. Then the next stage.
The next stage, of course, is crisis.
Crisis.
It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis.
Right? He tried a bunch of times. He tried with the George Floyd protests. He tried with the Brooks Brother riot version 2 in Philadelphia. He tried with the Arizona, like, attempted Brooks Brother riot. He tried with the Capitol insurrection. He's tried a bunch of times to push us to crisis. Oh, and he's trying with COVID. He's trying to push us to crisis with COVID.
You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely.
So Donald Trump wanted to take power quickly and then normalize it, say, oh, everything's fine, everything's fine. Nothing Donald Trump does has anything to do with reality. Everything he does is based on the announcement. He wanted Zelensky of Ukraine to announce an investigation into Biden. He didn't care if there really was one. He just wanted the announcement of it. He called up the Georgia GA and said he wanted them to announce voter fraud. It didn't matter if there was any voter fraud or not. He just wanted the announcement so he and his buddies could play up the big lie, right? That's how they operate. They don't operate on actual truth. They operate on the lie. And then they operate on the normalization of that lie. Because if people normalize it, it becomes real. They make it real through their bodily interactions. So, what else do I got? I got a bunch of stuff, but so you have to watch out, right? There's QAnon are changing. They're going to local elections, school boards, city councils, and they don't call themselves QAnon anymore. They call themselves anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers. You know, they pretend, oh, why not? I was never into QAnon, right? Part of their idea is that history doesn't matter, that truth doesn't matter. Part of their delusion is that truth doesn't matter. So anything they say can matter, and they can say whatever they want as long as they have the power. That's what they're all about, is power. That's what happens. But look how they evolved, right? They're not staying static. They're evolving. They're moving into the shadows. So that's why I said to the group, you can't use violence. Violence is not going to do it because they're hiding in the shadows. You need a way to draw them out of the shadows so that everyone else can see that you know that they're Nazis. I know that they're Nazis, but the other people don't see it. They can't see it the way we see it. So you have to figure out a way to make the Nazi come out of the shadows so everyone sees that they're a Nazi. You have to be smart. You have to be creative. You're not going to do it through violence. You're going to do it by making them expose themselves, like that Nazi did in LA when he stabbed that guy. Right? You're going to do it by being creative, by making them show themselves. You can't force anyone to do anything, but you can create conditions conducive to them choosing to expose themselves. You got to be creative. You got to be smart. Play the game differently. Think outside the box. Think in ways they never even thought of so that you can attack them from a direction they didn't even know existed. Okay, America. We got to pull through this. We got to pull through this. If only 1,000 of us came in the late 20s, if only 1,000 of us in the late 20s had combined in heroic resistance, we could have stopped Hitler. Small changes in initial conditions lead to great, widely unpredictable changes further down the line. So I know that August 22nd, the Nazis are going to make a big showing up in Portland. Normally, I wouldn't go to any of that kind of nonsense, but I understand the more people we have there, the less power the Nazis have. They will be intimidated. Nazis only attack when they have superior number and when they have the police to protect them. That's when Nazis attack, when there's more of them and when they have the police to back them up. Otherwise, they run away and they don't do anything. So it's important for as many of us to get there so that no violence happens. If there's lots of us, the Nazis won't become violent. They'll go away. So I think it's important that we show up. A lot of a democracy is all about showing up. Just show up. Just show up. Just be there. Just show up. Okay, America. Oh, we can do this. We got this. I think a lot of what we have to do is arrive at a more pure understanding of what it means to be who we are. Because once we reach our essentials of who we are and shine a light through it, shine a laser through it, it will explode into amazing colors and do things we never thought possible. But you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta look inside yourself, know who you are, and then you can do the impossible and see the invisible. Okay, America, until next time, Pogo Kiddo out. Peace.